with the tackle for loss, makes it 2nd and 11. Ball with time, going in the end zone and overthrows. Ball just 2 for 6 in the air. And he completes that one to Bilbo.
Football very well.
2 tight ends, pitch it back to Daniels, and
Personal foul, number 48 on the offense.
In, wide receivers, 3 to the right of Ball. He finds Bilbo over the middle, and Bilbo through 218. Good bookends with Johnson. Ball, and it's intercepted. He threw it right into the hands of Steve Tate, and Tate, reversing field, finally is dragged down by Jordan.
He's sitting in the middle at the robber position. Freeze it right there.
That was Steve Fafita, who we've seen jabbing with Ball throughout the day, and then left wide open is Latondras. 31 as we saw at the second quarter. Ratliff with Wheeler in his face, able to complete it.
Extremely accurately thrown ball.
Going the other way, that's a touchdown if he catches it, and he does. Travis Latondras. Straight bowls, trying to make it 5. Rashawn Grant gets the kickoff from Louis Sakota and is tackled down.
Athletics. We find college athletics is a great opportunity for us to try to target.
Has it 2nd and 10 from the 24. Ball has pressure, 2 coming at him, but he completes it underneath to Chris Woods. Woods, who has just come practically perfect in every way. Handoff a
butter in your playbook.
Alvin Johnson still with 1 catch. They go to him again. It's tipped and intercepted. Sean Harper gets it.
Again, we're going to see double coverage on Calvin Johnson. Johnson really never had much of a chance there. Harper, a great job of
an interception of the year for Harper. Utes have it on the 37. Latondras back in at quarterback. Trying to throw his first pass. It's a Weddle at quarterback. And he throws it into the end zone, and that is picked off. Season, so Tech gets the ball right back. Throwing it up. And
size and speed.
Pass interference, number 32.
Pass interference or holding penalty called against by defenders defending Johnson this year as he laid out for that.
Design. They try to force you into throwing the football more than you'd like to.
2nd and 10 now. Johnson in the slot to the left of Ball, who takes off with it. And Reggie, a talented runner, bringing them back. 3rd down, Ball zips it and completes it. Well thrown ball.
Said he was going to be able to throw the ball as a freshman in the big leagues. And then he engineered an upset against Auburn the following week. Had Florida State more than capable of throwing the ball down the field.
This time he hands off to P.J. Daniels. That threw an interception late in the game. They ended up losing by a touchdown. Daniels
in the NFL.
Really had to retool with all those players leaving. And Cox, the fullback, makes the catch. He gets the first down. They're on the 39. Daniels running into Cox. And then his 2nd and 3, 4 receivers in, and Ball holds on to it. And he goes down. Ball going opposite of where Calvin Johnson is, finds George Cooper, and George Cooper. David Jordan kicking off. And Derek Richards, 80 yards after an interception. And that pass is complete as a flag comes down. On the white shirt and the cap, John Tenuta, the defensive coordinator.
And Sean Moore.
Sean Jones, a very good quarterback here, is in its history. 3rd and 8 for Utah. Ratliff all the time in the world, and he throws it over the head.
Jack.
4 Tech players coming in, pressuring the punt as the ball goes down. Reuben Houston does not.
For Utah in this game, and Georgia Tech's starting to get their legs back under it.
Another pass completion to the fullback Mike Cox. As
even though they ended up with a 6-5 record, they competed with everyone on their schedule.
And down goes
game thus far.
He's actually recruited as a wide receiver, as big as he is. That's kind of hard to believe as Daniels somehow kept his feet on.
Against Pittsburgh and Tempe.
And on this third down play, it's
Really highlight their skills a year ago.
instead they took on a Pittsburgh team, and Ben Arndt's punt is picked up late by Weddle for Utah, and he's been tremendous. 11 of 13 through the air, make it 12 for 14 as Hernandez makes the catch. Ganther, the running back.
Keith Jackson, that was a heck of a duo.
Now in the College Football Hall of Fame is Frank. As Ganther catch 1976.
Texas won that game.
Ratliff trying to make something out of nothing. And he might have been over the line of scrimmage, but from just beyond midfield on the Utah side of the ball, or the field, excuse me. Ratliff, that time behind the line of scrimmage, and he's in.
Slow start, but they've been tough down the stretch.
Keith Jackson's calling it too. That's always fun. That one is skipped into the hands of
Turf as well.
Louis Sakota in for the punt. Reuben Houston lets it sail over his head, and it goes again. I'm sure Lloyd Carr taking some heat today back home in Ann Arbor. P.J. Daniels slips away moments and
Get their feet back under him.
Reggie Ball using his feet.
Coach to bounce things off of when you're of the success you had a year ago.
P.J. Daniels gets the first down. Nice.
And you've got to get the ball north and south.
So now first down from the 35 and incomplete.
Reggie Ball and Brett Ratliff are going to have to make more plays in the passing game.
Ball making a play, but it's dropped. Ball with time, steps up and throws it complete to Bilbo for the first down. As Ball rolls away and throws it away, would make it a dozen. Against only 11 touchdown passes this year. He's going the wrong way, finally throws it away, and that's... Ball zips it out to Johnson, and it skips off of his hands. But a true sophomore cannot enter the draft until next year.
He's got a ways to go before he played in that game a year ago. Big win against Alabama.
See if Utah can get something going. As her
Had a nice effect on this offense. Helped this offense open up midway through the season.
Ratliff over 200 yards passing, completes it.
Can't say enough about Brian Johnson's performance through 10 games.
He was fourth in the nation in total offense when he went down, and he finds Hernandez.
On the offense, number 78.
It was a heck of a throw. It was a 22-yard completion as Ganther skips out at you.
Played that way.
He looked like he was going to fall asleep soon. He was just so relaxed on that pass. Again, go.
Latondras down the field.
Yeah, you saw the ball change direction as Houston got a finger on it. And Reuben Houston, good punt as Houston has to retreat and goes down in his tracks. It
Snuffs out a Georgia Tech threat here late.
Look at this. They're going to try to advance the ball. Ball throwing it hard for Bilbo, who's behind everybody. And Bilbo catches it at the 7-yard.
Bilbo's just going to continue on the go route. Weddle, Evans. That ball was played casually by Utah.
And Bell snapping with the kickoff. Derek Richards. Receptions in the first half as Rashawn Grant gets the opening kickoff in the second half and makes a very good return out of it. Rashawn Grant
And up just over 5 points per game in the second half.
P.J. Daniels getting things started, gets as Ball throws the ball for the first time in the second half. Bilbo can't catch it. That was right to show for it. Not for that 65-yard pass play to Bilbo. They would just have the one touchdown. Ball retreating, goes down.
We're going to be able to dominate this Georgia Tech offensive front.
They certainly outweigh them as
It's off with Georgia.
only lost to Georgia 14-7, blowing up that, showing it on that play as he dropped Ganther for a 4-yard loss. Pressure up the middle, Ratliff escapes and then completes the pass. To now Utes facing a 3rd and 3. Ball is complete, but behind the line of
The man.
now Houston fielding Louis Sakota's punt. And stopped immediately. Time these two programs have ever played each other in football. P.J. Daniels slipping a tackle and picking up the first down. Big old
Cut this lead to 10 points, Bam.
and with that 16-yard run, TJ over.
They can keep the ball on the ground.
And they do that as they go back to Daniels again.
The last 10, 15 years.
3rd and 9. All alone, Cooper, who caught the touchdown.
They were going to be taken care of and get a good education. Obviously, it's paid dividends for this program.
Big time here at SBC Park, and Utah trying to get its offense, which was terrific early and has bogged down lately. And right on cue, Hernandez makes the Cavalier starter, a junior. And it was a first down for Hernandez as Ganther from the 28. Blitz coming, they pick it up, and Ratliff finds his man. Once again, it is Bryant.
For his quarterback on the perimeter.
His favorite target today.
And
The 14-yard gain for Ganther. Ratliff, time to throw, but he threw it slightly.
and he's been sharp enough to get it done.
A new career high for him today, and he adds to it Latondras. That was team 24 and 25 yards. And that pass is complete to Derek Richards. 1st and 10 from the 15. Ganther.
Give Ratliff time to deliver the football.
2nd and 9, and that ball is caught close.
To frustrate this defensive front for Georgia Tech.
He's marked just short of the first down. Has to try a 22-yard attempt. No, they fake it. That's Weddle. He scored on a fake. 3 guys lined up behind the quarterback. And getting away from pressure, he throws the interception. Jarris Wilkinson going to take it out of the end zone. He should not have done that. And that's the first interception Ratliff has thrown for Utah in his 2 games of playing as a starter.
Fooled Ratliff on the interception.
Wilkinson decided to bring it out. His up ball is tipped. And only ball has completed only 3 of his last 12 attempts. Look at 4 of 13. 2 catches on the day as Weddle makes the fair catch for him. First as a starter in these last 2 games. And the fearless one throws it away here in San Diego.
On the offense.
Got to Pola for the infraction. That one's knocked down. K-Mullard and 15. Ratliff with all the time in the world to find his target, and he has him.
This afternoon.
And with that throw, Ratliff over 300 yards on the day. Little hit back to Ganther after
Clearly evident.
throwing some pitches into the playbook. Ratliff on 1st and goal. Georgia Tech brings a lot of people and in the end of the goal line, the end of the end zone, and another pitch back. All does kick it, and he kicks it through.
A year ago.
Latondras with the big game as Rashawn Grant gets the Sokoka.
Too many games when Calvin Johnson flat has been taken totally out of the contest. And to get him more touches.
He's down the left side, and another batted ball, but it goes right back to Reggie Ball. So Ball catches. Ball with time and makes a nice throw to Cooper. Ben Arndt into punt for the 7th. Ratliff completes it to Hernandez, and a nice move by Hernandez. And Ganther stuffed up the row, trying to pick up the pieces as they head towards the playoffs. And Latondras. This is Ratliff's 2nd career start for Utah. Junior college transfer coming in as a junior. And again with the presence of...
And he's thrown the ball with timing.
He's thrown for 347 yards. Now well over 350. Latondras...
I think Ratliff is doing a pretty good job.
Against a terrific defense, and another reverse. Marquise Wilson gets a block. 1st and 10. Ratliff going against the grain. And that pass
with a 14-point performance against the Bulldogs of Georgia.
Ganther with a good catch of a high pitch, and his knee did hit the 2nd and 11 from the 16. Latondras make it 4 touchdown catches.
And then he comes back inside again on another inside route. A post route.
Ratliff corner the end zone. Latondras can do no
going into his senior year. This type of performance against Georgia Tech, this caliber of defense, does not go unnoticed.
Sean Grant tackled down up Oregon as they follow us, as we look forward to sending it down to San Diego. And boy, P.J. Daniels going back.
The wide receivers have been shut down by the Utah scheme.
4th and 17. As Weddle makes the fair catch. That's it.
And do a BCS picture with a worse record.
Yeah.
Once every 4 or 5 years.
They got lucky this year. Ganther picks up the first down, slips a tackle by Reese, and Quinton Ganther scores.
Utah has not had a lot of success in the running game. It's been a passing game feature for Brett Rapp.
As well over 108 to 10. Flag comes down. As that kick.
Matchup of the two winningest coaches of all time at the Division I level.
Pass
Against Bowden with something on the line, and that something would be a champions, and they don't get a chance to play for a national title. And I really think that the playoff system is where college football is headed. Maybe not in the next 4. 2 teams in the final would be playing 14 games.
Ball picking up the snap and completing it to Choice. And a
Teams as it is could play 14 games.
ball with the quarterback keeper. And Reggie picks up he'll get that automatic bid, and Pittsburgh showed that it was not up to snuff with the other BCS teams because Utah blew them out. And they felt disrespected as Grant and Georgia Tech. And one heck of a finish for the Utes. Ball throwing in the end zone for Calvin Johnson, and that's way out of bounds. A terrific grab by Calvin.
Which is on the season of this caliber. As a quarterback, you got to keep multi-fade routes throughout a game.
And obviously cuts down on the opportunities for a guy like Johnson to catch a football.
One of the best bowl games of the season, and I'm looking forward to watching Sooners in the...
Here facing a 4th and 1. And they're not going to get it.
And Georgia Tech, this has not been a performance that they're going to look back on to quickly dismantle this football team.
Ganther going 11 for the Utes. Ganther picking up another first. Thanks, Keith, and we'll get it out to you. This game winding down.
Front really took it to Georgia Tech, manhandled them physically in the trenches on both sides of the football. Teams like Utah.
Utah with 300 yards here in the second half of offense as Mack continues to...
Had secondary players guessing throughout this game for Georgia Tech.
Bob Carney